Hey guys, Mr. B here, bringing you another Genius Maths video. This video I'm going to talk about the derivative of an exponential function. So something like y is equal to a to the x. This a could be any number. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want it to be. Alright, so, these things can be a little bit complicated. You might get overwhelmed by all these derivatives that you got to know. But you just need to know them. That's just the reality of the situation. You're in calc, you got to know it. So, a lot of times, don't get messed up in the details. You really just gotta put 2 and 2 together and start to remember these things. So the derivative of this guy is very similar to the derivative of e to the x. So if you know the derivative of e to the x, it's e to the x. Well, the derivative of a to the x is a to the x. The only part that's different is we need to add in or multiply in this ln of a. So whatever is the base, we multiply by the ln of it. So the reason why we don't have this with e to the x is because ln of e is actually 1, so we don't need to write that part. So that's why the derivative of e to the x is e to the x, whereas the derivative of this, you have to add that part in. So again, it doesn't really affect too much. Now my students prefer this form, a to the u. So it adds in a little extra part, so a to the u times ln of a times u prime. So whatever it is your function up there, because you're going to have something besides x up there, you have to make sure you multiply the derivative afterwards. So let's give an example. So let's go with y is equal to 2 to the x to the 7. So this is a chain rule example, so I'll use my chain rule form. So I rewrite as a to the u, so 2 to the u, so 2x to the 7 times my ln of 2, so ln of 2, my base in this case is 2, times the derivative of x to the 7. So I'll write that step out, x to the 7 prime, if you don't like doing it all in one step, but you easily could, and a lot of my students do. So the derivative of x to the 7 is 7x to the 6, and now it's just a matter of writing this guy out. Now there's no particular form. I usually write 7x to the 6 times 2x to the 7 times ln of 2. Doesn't really matter. You could throw this guy out front, 7 ln 2 x to the 6. That would make sense too, because these are both, essentially they're just coefficients. And there it is. There's the first example. Let's do one where we have trig, because a lot of times these things involve trig. So e to the x. Let's go 3. My phone just buzzed. 3 sine of x. So again, this is a chain rule example. So the first thing I do is I use my a to the u, so it's 3 to the sine x times ln of 3. So that's the part people always forget, that part. Ln of 3 times the derivative of sine of x. I'm just going to rewrite this one right in one step. So derivative of sine is cos of x. And there it is. I'm not going to rewrite this one. It is what it is. And that is it. Alright guys, so I hope this helps. There's a derivative of y is equal to a to the x. Thank you for watching.